Alright, well, let's do this. Okay, time to feed the viewers here. Hello viewers, another beautiful day. Hope your five senses work, health and strength is good or excellent. Good. Let's see here, Ubuntu 25.04, the best new features. Ubuntu 25.4 provide a plethora of fresh new features, foundational changes, and user experience that are well worth upgrading. In this post, I ran through the best features Ubuntu 25.04 Plucky Puffin has to offer, from notification groups, grouping, and new digital well-being control to a more capable OS installer and performance-focused Linux kernel. There's a lot to love in this latest release. You can benefit from all of the changes highlighted below from April 17th, when Ubuntu 25.04 is officially released. Whether you do a new install or upgrade from Ubuntu 24.10, read on to learn what makes Plucky Puffin a purveyor of personal computer-wide perfection. New features in Ubuntu 25.04, Ubuntu installer improvements. And it says Ubuntu 25.4 brings further finesse to a Flutter-based OS installer with popular focus on features that help to improve creating dual booting Ubuntu Windows app setup. The team says it's aimed to provide additional messaging around the presence of other OS on your device and refine the scenarios around install into the free space and erase and replace an existing Ubuntu installation. A wordy way to say the installer is much clearer about what you're doing. Elsewhere, the installer refined its handling of advanced partitioning and encryption, improving interaction when installing alongside existing BitLocker, enable Windows installs, and buffs enterprise and deployment with auto installation via landscape. It's also now possible to replace an existing Ubuntu installation through the installer. See the screenshot. In all, a welcome setup of updates that makes installing Ubuntu alongside other operating system, be it Windows, are not less scary and more reassuring. says here, notification group is one of many enhancements Ubuntu users benefit from thanks to the inclusion of Genome 48. When an app CLI tool or system process sends multiple notifications that dismiss to the message tray, they combine into a collapsed stack to make better use of space and reduce cognitive loads. Says there, expand a notification stack with a clip or tap to view and or action each notification individually, or condense the list back using the collapse icon. Dismissing all notifications sent from a specific app or service is made easier by this too. Another subtopic, digital well-being control. Says here, see if I can get this. Says here, a new well-being panel is setting, provides screen time tracking features and controls. Think Apple screen time features, but on Linux. The controls are designed to make it easier for those who want to monitor, track, and perhaps curtail their computing usage habits. Set control/limit and see periodic reminders to take a break. Says here, option 1, screen time tracking. See a chart of how long you use your computer each day so you can compare your current usage with past days/weeks. Daily screen limits. Set usage duration limits, which when reached send a notification, and optionally turn screen colors to black and white. Yeah. Says breaks reminders. Get notification to stand up, stretch, and or look away from the screen based on a configurable interval period. And then it says here, I'm going to keep going here. see if I can get this. It says here, I think most of us would agree we spend more time going at our screen than we did like to. The new well-being panel in Ubuntu 25.05 gives us the means to cajole ourselves into a healthier computing habits out of the box, but it helps us to heed them. And then they have a screenshot here saying HDR support available. It says Ubuntu 25.04 include HDR support. Hooray, right, question mark. Well, kinda. HDR support in Ubuntu 25.4 is not enabled by default. It can be turned on using a toggle in settings display, which only shows if an HDR compatible monitor is connected. Then it says thereafter, any Linux apps that supports HDR, not all do at present, can output correctly. It says here, enabling HDR as a drawback in that they got that typed twice, in that the standard display brightness like keyboard keys won't work. Genome devs have included a software emulated brightness controller slider. It says though welcome and for some a standout feature, HDR support in Ubuntu is a formative one. Keep going here. It says here native not many Linux apps support HDR, although the recent MPV 0.40 release does, and it may be a feature you have to enable/disable based on the app you're using. Basically, don't expect perfection. Do report bugs, and then it says in parentheses, preferably upstreams to Genome. It says here another subtopic, other Genome 48 changes. A selection of other Genome 48 tweaks improving Ubuntu users' experience includes, and this is all in all black now, it says preserve battery health mode to help prolong battery capacity. Battery. I wonder if that got some. I wonder if Steam Deck is a reason for that. But anyway, new windows are centered by default. Apps are now able to register global shortcuts. On-screen keyboard visuals have been refined. Nautilus file manager loads directory up to 5x faster. Text editor adopts a streamlined header bar with one menu for all options. Calendar events editor revamp, speed boost plus more. Then it says in parentheses extended selection. It says your camera is now able to scan QR codes, extend selection. It says there and that's but a snippet. My Genome 48 recap offers a more rounded look at those and other changes. I will be doing a video for that after this. Anyway, and I will release both of them. It says here, paper document, another subtopic, papers, new documents, viewer app. It says Ubuntu 25.04 switches its default document viewer app from Invents to Papers. The impact on end users shouldn't be huge, but open and display PDF files, as the latter is a continuation fork of the former, albeit with newer technologies under its hood and maintainers. Says here, paper is lacking a couple of creatures comfort in the events, but as events can be installed in Ubuntu 25.04 easily. Says alongside papers, no one miss out. Power users likely prefer a fully featured PDF viewer anyway. Then it says visual changes. Ubuntu Yaru icon theme has fixed a visual bug where some type of icon were out of proportion with others. The fix is subtle, so unless you knew something has changed, you likely wouldn't consciously notice subconsciously, perhaps. Then it says sysproof, the system profiling utility has a new Yaru style icon, which, like other icon, inherits the system set accent colors. Says there are new Yaru icons for several non-default apps too, including redesigned GIF for Genome software and tags audio metadata editors. On the extended selection installs, there's a Yaru iFi icon for the included camera, aka snapshot app. It says, per tradition, a new desktop wallpaper is included, bearing the release mascot, a puffin. A small selection of community contributed background. Most also features puffins are included too. Says, I began this section with a subtle visual change, so I will end on another Ubuntu selection for accent colors. Have picked up some minor contrast tweaks, and of note, selecting the warty brown accent no longer changes the Genome Shell theme to light as it did in 2410. Alright. Okay, another subtopic. Beacon DB location service. Last year, Mozilla axed its geolocation service to much chagrin, since scores of open source projects made use of it to handle location-based features such as time zone detection in a privacy preserving manner. Ubuntu is seeking a replacement as they settle on Beacon DB. Ubuntu 25.04 now uses Beacon DB to handle nightlight, time zone detection, and weather related features, but only if a user enables location service, of course. Says here, as a crowdsource effort, Beacon DB describes itself as an experimental and caution that its accuracy may vary based on those who join its mapping effort. That's its mapping efforts. Says there, another subtopic, Network Manager 1.52. Ubuntu 25.04 ships with the latest Network Manager 1.5.2 release and updates that offer several practical enhancements to its network prowess. The most noticeable change, better support for modern internet connection with enhanced IPv6 networking option that allow users to prioritize IPv6 when possible, and support. Then it says in parentheses, in the DNS config D backend for DNS over TLS. Then it says in parentheses again, dot. And keep moving here. It says here, Network Manager 1.52 also adds support for Oracle Cloud configuration, more precise DNS routing, Ethtool FEC support, and a further way to configure network addresses. Then another subtopic, generic ARM64 installer. Says Linux support for ARM laptops isn't as simple as on Intel/AMD devices. Much like Android phone ports, Linux ARM install image tends to specific to the device they'll be installed on, with right driver firmware accommodation. And then it says here, Conical engineers have been working to simplify Ubuntu support on ARM laptops over the past few cycles. Efforts was put into supporting the Snapdragon-powered ThinkPad X13s as a first target, and with Ubuntu 24.10 it did. With Plucky Puffin expands further, the Ubuntu 25.04 ARM64 installer image ISO now supports a wider range of hardware, and support include VM's S device with ACPI plus EFI Snapdragon window on ARM laptops, and notably newer Snapdragon X Elite laptops offer market as Copilot plus AI PCs. The Ubuntu ARM experience remains variable in user finesse due to the intricacies involved in the way ARM device works. There is a Snap app gap to fill, Then in parentheses it says, though most deb software in the repo provides ARM64 builds, but the progress made thus far is encouraging. It says here, Raspberry Pi owners should continue using the pre-installed image, specifically fine-tuned for the latest PI devices, as they include hardware-specific modification drivers and support. And then it says another subtopic, Linux kernel 6.14. I'm kind of wondering why oh my God, Ubuntu didn't really have an article for that on their social media page. But anyway, it says here Ubuntu 25.4 uses Linux kernel 6.14, the latest at the time of release, stable kernel version. Canonical adopts a new kernel tracking cadence last year to ensure a new version of Ubuntu includes the most recent kernel possible. Linux 6.14 feature a sizable set of changes, including improved hardware support, a stack of performance-focused tweaks, including one that gives Windows game runs through Wine up to 50% faster frame rates, and plenty more besides. Then it says here, on the related note, this release sees the Linux low latency binary package retired in favor of a new user space low latency and then says kernel package. This works with the generic kernel and is able to fine-tune responsiveness at boot time via grub. Another subtopic says here, AppArmor Ubuntu 25.4 sees a clutch of changes to AppArmor, the security module Ubuntu uses to restrict program access based on profiles. AppArmor often causes issues for apps lacking a profile or relying on text that don't have one. So devs have had a new improved profile in 25.4. Says here, among them, a new AppArmor profile for bubble wrap, and in parentheses it says B wrap. It says here B wrap, and then after the parentheses it says B wrap dash user SERNS dash restrict. It's keep going here. Almost drop it. Okay. Slash restrict says here which is able to set up a created user namespace and set up a sandboxing before switching to a stricter profile. And says here to limit what process can do inside the BRAP sandbox. Says here, though these changes aren't sexy, they will lead to better security, albeit with the usual hiccups likely along the way as new apps and integration emerge, which aren't catered for and won't work as expected due to restrictions. Says here another subtopic, NVIDIA Dynamic Boost. Ubuntu 25.04 adds native support for NVIDIA Dynamic Boost on compatible laptops. This is a power management feature that allocates system resources dynamical, hence the name, redistributing power between the CPU and GPU during intensive workload. Then it says, or why no gaming? Ubuntu NVIDIA drivers package did not include the necessary service files to enable this feature in earlier builds. However, developers approve including the NVIDIA powered service file by default in the Plucky daemon disable itself in unsupported environments. Says, what change will this bring? Potentially improve performance when working with GPU intensive apps, tools, and games. Says here, Intel Arc GPU, another subtopic, Intel Arc GPU support. Says you're lucky enough to be on a device with the latest Intel Core Ultra XE2 integrated graphics, or discrete Intel Arc B580 or B570 Battlemag graphics card. Plucky offers full support for the latest Intel GPUs, including hardware accelerated video encoding for AVC, JPEG, HEVC, and AV1. Ubuntu 25.04 also improved GPU and CPU ray tracing rendering in apps that supports Intel Embreed support, such as newer versions of Blender. Another subtopic, assorted smaller changes. A clutch of smaller changes in Ubuntu 25.04 which may be of note. Startup sound is now disabled by default, can be re-enabled. Unintended upgrades notification adds OK button in addition to postpone. Support for JPEG-XL enabled by default. Then XDG-terminal-exec installed to make changing default terminal easier. Changes to the way TZ data is configured. Dre-cut available as experimental alternative to init frem fs. Says foundation wise, besides Linux kernel 6.14, which is covered further up this article, the following subsystems and libraries are stands in Ubuntu 25.04. And it says here system D 257.4, Mesa 25.0.x, Pipewire 1.2.7, BlueZ 5.79, GS Streamer 1.26, Power Profile Daemon 0.30, OpenSSL 3.41, GNU TLS 3.89. Yeah, it says here toolchain version includes in Ubuntu 25.4 is Python 3.13.2, GGC 14.2, and then 15 is available. glib 2.41, binnutil 2.44, Java 24GA, 25 snapshots available, Go 1.24, Rust 1.84, default older available, LLVM 20, and .NET 9. It says here some app version available in the repos node. Some of these will get minor updates over the coming months, but these are the versions available at the time of release. It says here LibreOffice 25.2.2, Thunderbird 128.0, Snap, GIMP 3.0.2, Audacity 3.7.3, Blender 4.3.2, VLC 3.0.21, MPV, I was going to say MVP, MPV 0.40, YT-DLP, that's 2025.03.27, FFmpeg 7.1, and Krita 5.29. Says here plus more besides if an app you regularly install from the Ubuntu repo has issued an update since last October, there's a good chance it's packaged up and presented in the Plucky repos. When is Ubuntu 25.04 release? Ubuntu 25.04 was released on Thursday, April 17, 2025. It's supported for 9 months until January 2026, but users who installed Ubuntu 25.4 can upgrade to the next release, Ubuntu 25.10 in October. And then it says, where can I download Ubuntu 25.04? You can download Ubuntu 25.04 desktop for Intel/AMD device from the official Ubuntu website, or get it direct from Ubuntu release server, which is where the official website pulls it from. Anyways, the Ubuntu 25.4 desktop ISO is now over 6 gig in size. Fedora 42 workstation, by comparison, is a mere 2.8 gigs. So if you're downloading on a limited or slow connection, keep that in mind. And it says if you need a different image like general ARM64 installer, Raspberry Pi image, or WSL image for Windows on ARMS, head to CD image server and download it from there. And it says here, can I upgrade to Ubuntu 25.04? It says here, absolutely. You can upgrade to Ubuntu 25.04 from Ubuntu 24.10. From April 17, all users of Ubuntu 24.10 will start see a prompt asking if they want to upgrade or not. That alert won't appear to everyone right away, so be patient. Sadly, you can't upgrade directly from an earlier release like Ubuntu 24.04 LTS. Instead, you would first upgrade to 24.10 and then upgrade from 24.10 to 25.4. A bit of a hassle. It's possible to upgrade to Ubuntu 25.4 before the official notifications roll out, but it's not recommended and require using the command line. Okay, and then it says, what features in Ubuntu 25.4 are you excited for? Anyway, well, that is it though, but that's it. So, Ubuntu 25.04, it's out. Yeah, it's out. So, what you want to do is, you know, when it comes to Ubuntu, you know, you could run it on two different computers, like run the 24.4 LTS on a separate machine, but then like the 24.10 or 25 or 25.4, you can run that on another machine. So keep that in mind. But other than that, yeah, you Ubuntu fans, you're good though. You're good for now. So I'll keep you guys in the loop though on what's going on with your Ubuntu's. But yeah, new features and new updates, and that should hold you for now. You know, of course, you know, of course the Ubuntu's that, you know, like 24.4 and then 26.4. Like 26.4 won't come out for another couple another year or so. So gotta be patient with that. So, but other than that, man, Ubuntu, they're on it, you know. Yeah, especially since the Steam Deck came out, you know. You know, they had to step up in the gaming department. I know they mentioned Nvidia in this one, but yeah, they've been improving things, man. So, but this is good now for you Linux users. So have fun and have a blast with this. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy though. How many comments is on this? How many comments? Let's see here. How many comments? About 34 comments. Yeah. So if the Ubuntu users are sharing their experience with what they like, dislike, and what they want to see improve on it. So yeah. But other than that, that should be good though. Hope this video was able to help you, to let you know what's going on with Ubuntu. I did this under 30 minutes, but hey, it's good enough. You know, it ain't all about how fast you read stuff, you know, because sometimes you can read stuff so fast and then it'll go past people's minds. So I try to go at a pace so people can understand what they're getting. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video though. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars Star Trek thing. Dark side. Gone. Peace.